So today we're here in Nokomis, Illinois. We had a big steam train that came through and it actually made a stop here. It's known as the Big Boy and the Union Pacific owns it. So pretty neat that it's actually stopping here in Nokomis. So it's really drawn a lot of people into our town. I mean, Nokomis is a very small town. You don't usually see this kind of a crowd, but we have drawn a lot of people in here today. So that's also very exciting for the town because it's just a nice attraction for us here in Nokomis.
Exciting.
Yes, very exciting. Now that's old iron. Choo choo! Oh.
Previously on Old Iron Adventures. Aumann Auctions slowly wrapped up their annual tractor school event. With engines running and chicken on the grill, everyone was delighted with this event. The pre-30 auction happened as well, leaving buyers with a smile on their face as they picked up their new treasures. With this year's event in the books, we can only hope it gets better for next season. Aumann Auctions has been in business for over 60 years and has been the leading force around the world in vintage power. And we're going to show you why. Through adventures around the world, you'll see vintage tractors, trucks, cars, memorabilia, and so much more. Aumann Auctions isn't just an auction company, but a group of men and women with a passion for the stories behind these items. Welcome to Old Iron Adventures. Just north of Nokomis, in the Illinois capital, Tyson makes a trip to find an original treasure that any collector would take time to appreciate.
All right, we're here in Springfield, Illinois, meeting with Don Henley and gonna look at his aluminum hood Ford tractor that is incredibly rare. He's got an unbelievable restoration on it. You just got to see it. It pops. It'd be a head turner at any car show, any tractor show you'd want to take it to. But we're gonna, document it today, photograph it today. He's decided to actually sell this at our fall harvest auction coming up this fall, and this is going to be one of the feature items, if not the featured item. So really excited to check this one out.
Well, Aumann Auctions is here today to take some detailed photos of my 1939 Ford aluminum hood tractor, serial number 577. It's a what I would call a nut bolt restoration, and I've done two of these tractors and I've decided to part with one. So this looked like the venue that I wanted to use. In the automotive world, a Ford flathead from 32 to 53, if it attains the early Ford VA Club Dearborn level, it's awarded this Dearborn Award, which you place on your vehicle. And then that's recognized all over the world in the automotive circles that the car or vehicle has attained the minimum number of points to attain that, which is this tractor attained 1,000 points out of 1,000, all three times it's been shown. So it never had any problems, and these guys appreciate quality of restoration as well as authenticity, so they pretty well know their stuff. And it's just a very highly respected award to win on any vehicle, and the tractor always attracts a lot of attention at the car shows when we take it. We had it last summer in Dearborn, Michigan. Our national meet was in Dearborn, and it was a very unique setting for the tractor to go back home. It was pretty cool.
So the reason this tractor is important is the aluminum hood. It's incredibly rare because this was a aluminum hood that was produced by Henry Ford basically in a pinch. He needed to get this tractor ready for a World's Fair. Didn't have time to do the steel hoods, so they produced a number of them with aluminum hoods, and actually they were used and driven and used in the field, and they actually started to crack, so the aluminum wasn't going to work, so they got replaced with steel hoods. And ones with aluminum hoods that aren't painted and are polished are really rare. I think there's only 35-ish or so in existence, and this is one of them.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Plattsmouth, Nebraska. Just on the edge of Tornado Alley, which we kind of experienced a little bit last night. Had one land east of us in Iowa, but we're not too far away from the Missouri River. We're here at the Dr. Joel Jansen collection. Joel's collected for quite a while and some pretty unique stuff. A lot of industrial stuff, a lot of excavators, not so much excavators, but more earth movers, that type of equipment. Does has a pretty nice collection of ag tractors, so we're about ready to get going on that. Got a full crew, we're ready to get at it. It's bright and early, coffee's going, so here we go.
Well, it's been going good. So right now we're cataloging and we're just making sure we get all the good photos that we can and make sure everybody knows what is actually being sold. And of course, we want to try to get any damage that we see in here. That way they know it's not 100% brand new. They can see what's going on. That way they're not surprised when they get it. So you're looking for stuff like that as you photo, but other than that, you just try to get everything in the photo and every kind of detail in the photo as well. That way our online bidders don't have to worry about not being here to see it in person. They feel they can trust us and everything, even being states away to bid. So it's kind of what we're doing right now.
So Joel, the bookend to the 4010 up there is obviously the 3010, the baby sister of it. Can you tell us a little bit of the story on this one?
When we did tractors, we did them in sets. So if we started with the 4010, then we looked for a 3010. We knew where there was a 2010, and I already had a 1010. So this came out of Kansas. It was in really bad shape, and we restored it so that we could have the whole series of gas industrial tractors. And that's hard to find, any gas industrials that aren't completely beat up and that still survive. I think, if my memory is correct, this is one of 159 or 179 made.
So still very low production, very low production. So you mentioned about the 1010. Was that the 1010 crawler?
No, the 1010 rubber behind us.
Or behind us, one we haven't uncovered yet. Okay, we're still discovering as we go here. And of course we have the 1010 ag crawler that you have across the way. So kind of getting everything put together here. Still under the discovery mode in some locations. So the rest of the team is accumulating parts right now. So we'll have a little bit of parts on this auction, but the main focus will definitely be the industrials, the nice ag tractors, some of the original tractors. So this is going to be a fun one.
We've had a good time. 35 years of collecting is a lot of fun.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, Joel. Like I said, Joel's collected some pretty unique stuff over the years. Many collectors in the John Deere world would recognize Joel's military tractors that he had collected, that he had displayed at one of the classic green shows out in Nebraska here a couple years ago. He's donated those to a museum, so we are selling off the remainder of his collection, which is mainly industrial. He's got a lot of neat 4010, 3010, 300, 400, 500 industrial tractors. Carries off into the lettered series, the L's, the M's in the industrial versions. He also has a really sweet 830. It's the last 830 that came out of the factory on steel, and that has been verified by 2-cylinder. He's got a couple experimental tractors in this collection, a lot of low production on the industrial side. So we're really looking forward to getting after this and finding out exactly what we got.
Back in Nokomis, Bob Lyons stops by Aumann Auctions headquarters to see his lineup of tractors featured as his auction fastly approaches.
First thing I want to talk about is this 1951 8N Ford. Everybody and their brother's got an 8N Ford, but what makes this unusual is it is 100% original except for a new battery. So it's just an old timer that survived the rigors of farm life, and that's why it's here. Nothing special other than it's all original. The next tractor we got here, this tractor and the next tractor and I are triplets. We're all born the same year. This tractor was manufactured in 1939, and it is a steel hood. So that means it was made sometime after late June of 1939. It has a couple unusual features. The headlights and the tail light are manufactured by Hall, and that makes them quite rare. They're hard to come by. And by the way, they are on there and they work. This tractor is pretty near all original. There's a small generator on this, and that makes that very hard to find. It's got footrests, and it's got a front bumper that are not Ford. But other than that, everything on it's Ford. I might add that it has an aluminum dash, and this aluminum dash has a key on the dash, a red light on the dash, and the starter on the dash. Later models don't have that. The hood ornament is original. No, is a reproduction. Excuse me. The radiator cap is original, but I had it re-chromed. One other thing here, it has the aluminum grill. They got broken a lot. It got to the point where you run a stick in there or whatever, and you break the grill, and guys bought steel grills. So this has that is a reproduction here, but it's correct. Okay, the next tractor here is a 1939, and there's a story behind this. Henry Ford wanted all the Ford dealers in the United States to have a 9N Ford for the first day, and that was the first week in June. He could not get the dies in time to stamp out a steel hood, so he poured aluminum hoods. And every dealer got a Ford tractor with an aluminum hood. Now they weren't like this, they were painted gray, but I feel like it's a shame to have aluminum hood and not brag about it a little bit, so this is shined up. I might show you that the front emblems are brass with the Ford painted around the Ford blue background, but these are very difficult to find, and this came with the tractor. Also on this tractor, it has a left and a right brake, but these brake pedals are the same. So if we took this brake pedal over there, it would work the same way. This has aluminum dash with a starter on the dash, a red light telling you that the key's turned on, and it has a key on the dash. All the others are different. Both these two tractors have the wrong sediment bulb and the wrong shutoff. And the reason I don't have that on is because these have the tendency over time to drip. So here's the original in the toolbox, but the one that's new doesn't leak. Okay, so this is a 39 Ford. It's got a couple other things that I think we ought to point out. It has an aluminum seat that's heated. And so there are through hoses, it goes back and picks up the lubricant, the coolant, and it's transferred to the seat so you keep your behind warm. Also behind the seat is an umbrella bracket, and that's kind of hard to find, and it goes with the tractor. Has a original drawbar, I might add. Anyway, these are kind of hard to come by because a lot of these hoods got broke. I had a farmer tell me one time, oh, I had one of those, but I was trimming trees and a branch fell on it and broke the hood. I just bought a new steel hood.
With Brian already in Nebraska, he heads to Scottsbluff, where he meets with Elijah and Lucy for a motorcycle collection that will leave your jaw on the floor.
On one of the jobs, there was an old motorcycle in the garage, and so when we got ready to settle up, I told the guy, I said, well, what are you going to do with that old motorcycle over there? He said, we're going to sell it. And I said, well, why don't you just, I'll give you some credit on your bill and we'll just do it that way. And then that started a very bad habit on my part. I've been in business for like 47 years and I got tons of people I know, tons of customers. So I got into a lot of yards, a lot of contacts and whatever. I just got going on collecting because I like, I'm more in love with older stuff because I want to see it alive again. And so I just went for it, and everybody'd always ask my wife how come she lets me keep buying, and she just always would say, well, it's just a bigger auction for me.
So, I mean, as you can see and as the pictures advertise, there are a ton of motorcycles crammed in this small space. I mean, the ability to do that, to get all of them in here in the first place would probably be the easy part. But the challenge for us, especially in these next few days while we're out here, because we only have limited time and we're far away from home, is getting these motorcycles out, make sure they stay in the condition that they are in, make sure we do it in a productive manner. We can't sit around and we can't just take them out one by one and just wait, and just sit around and wait for these trucks to come. So the challenge for us is to get all these out, get them organized, get the parts back there and tucked away in corners, and all the tractors out as well. There's 2 greenhouses full of motorcycles, so trying to get those, trying to get the ones with the engines and the motors are stuck, and they're in gear and they won't pop out. Those are going to be another huge challenge, because some of these motorcycles can be 500-600 pounds, and to get them in the back of a truck when they don't move is also going to be a really hard thing for us. So we got a great crew working with us today, and our plan is just slow and steady, more quality than quantity. So as I've mentioned before, great collection, so we really want to be careful with this. So what we're doing right now is we're staging the bikes for when the semi gets here, they're just ready to go. And essentially this is just gonna be an assembly line process that we're gonna take this back room, open that door, slide them out one by one, and get them towards where the truck is backing up. That way when the truck gets here, we just slide it on and we're good to go. Now, there is a lot of bikes here. There are a lot of bikes here. So the problem is trying to find space to stage these bikes, getting ready to put them in the back of a semi. And it's only our first few hours out here and we're still kind of talking about it, but there's a lot of sand here. And like I said, these bikes are heavy, they're gonna sink in the sand, and the last thing we need for them is to tip over. So we've been getting pieces of plywood, putting them under the kickstand, and just trying to be as efficient as possible lining these bikes up for them to get staged. It's not gonna be easy, but nothing like this, ever is, but it'll be worth it, 100%. And I'm really excited to get started on this. I've been scratching just to get here all week. It's been a long journey out here, but we're here and we just got to make the most of it and be productive.
Elijah and the crew work out a plan on how to bring Jim's collection back to Nokomis safely. They work hard to shuffle through the sheer volume of motorcycles in the outdoor greenhouses. They line them up as Elijah's planned and begin to grow confident in their plan before the semi-truck gets there. But with confidence running high and the crew thinking it's smooth sailing from here, they have to remember that sometimes it's just too good to be true. Next time on Old Iron Adventures, Brian heads back to Joel Jansen's tractor collection, but as the semi approaches Scottsbluff, the Aumann's crew are forced to make a change of plans.